in Houston. It's Texans football as we rejoin the action in quarter number 1. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Throwing to start the drive. Watson. He's got his man. It's the tight end, Brevin Jordan. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Jags grab it. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. There are 2 words that we hear coaches say all of the time. One starts with a B, one starts with an S. Ball security.
And they preach it. They have it up in meeting rooms, right? You see the signs. They talk about it all the time. But still, when you've got defenders out there who are preaching, hey, we're going to take the ball away from you, no matter what position you play, you've got to take care of the rock.
Following the fumble recovery, Madden. That's pulled in, the veteran Carter Landry. And he'll be down deep into Houston territory. It's a big play for the Jaguars. Well, if you pull up his college highlight reel, you will see no shortage of great throws, and here's one in his NFL debut for big yardage.
And this is going to be a big test early in his career. How accurate can he be on throws like this? If he keeps doing that, he's going to be just fine.
Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions. 3rd down here in 10, but you're still in field goal range.
And that's the thing to keep in mind. They're in field goal range. So now you don't take any unnecessary risks, but you try and find a way to get back to what you were doing earlier in the drive in order to finish this one off.
The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on 4th, eluding the pressure right. Oh, what a move. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6.
As a rookie quarterback, that's exactly how you endear yourself to your teammates. Give it up for the cause. It's also how you end up on the training table, too.
Yeah, it's a catch-22. Coach doesn't like it. Teammates love it. Where do you fall on it?
Well, I fall on wanting to endear yourself to your teammates, but pick your spots. Be smart about it. They need you for the full season.
Yeah, the rookie's going to learn as he goes. Looking to throw. Madden flush to his right. And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. A great effort there. Making quite a splash with his 2nd touchdown in his NFL debut. And the Jaguars are looking good here in the season opener as they're able to extend their lead. And we remember, of course, all scoring plays need to be verified upstairs. And I think they're going to at least take a look at this. Is this a touchdown? That's the question. CD, what are they looking for here?
You just need any part of the football to break the plane. You don't need the whole football. It doesn't need to go over the entire white line. It's just that front part of the white line. And if you draw an imaginary...
So take away the touchdown. The officials rule he did not. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. A great play there. Making quite a splash with his 2nd touchdown in his NFL debut. And the Jaguars add 6 to their lead. That touchdown, Charles, the first rushing TD of his rookie year.
I don't know that he's going to be Lamar Jackson or Russell Wilson or Josh Allen at this stage of his career, but he's got youth on his side. Those young legs, he put them to good use there, didn't he?
Josh Lambo now for the point after. Oh, and now they're going to fake it. And this is caught at the 5. And he gets in. Well, no one was expecting a fake there, but they add 2 more onto their lead. And that's something you almost never see nowadays. When you fake it, you're at the 15-yard line on a PAT as opposed to just going for it from the 2.
I'm sorry. I know they got it, and congratulations to them, but it's
just not a good play. I mean, the risk-reward.
And he can't field it cleanly. It's loose. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape, up past the 30. So now we get set to see Houston for their second drive of the ball game. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions.
That's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked by Jared Wilson. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. So more problems here in this first quarter. Already 2 scores down, and here they give away the football.
And if I'm the head coach, I think it's time to start lighting a fire under some of these guys. Now, you have to do it within your personality. They can't perceive it as fake. But I'd go get after some guys because they don't look ready to play to me. They look flat, uninspired. It's time to get moving.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Back to throw. Madden. And he'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. Some early fireworks from this rookie quarterback getting the start in week 1.
And every time a rookie quarterback gets to start week 1, you and I both know the extra attention that comes with it. We know that he's going to throw the football, but will he make the right decisions? And in this case, with his legs, he showed the defense there's an extra dynamic to his game.
Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
I know he was trying to get the completion downfield, but the way this game has gone, with a few of the runs he's made along the way, he should have kept the ball and taken it with his feet downfield. That's the big play that shreds the defense. Instead, he thought to himself, I'm a quarterback. I've got to throw it. He bailed out the defense with that incompletion.
Another completion there. You know, we think about the draft back in the spring. He was selected, obviously, the #1 overall pick. There's great money with that, but, Charles, I would think maybe an extra burden, too, or is that not that big of a deal at all?
It actually is in the beginning of his career, an added burden, but it's one of those things that if you play...
And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. Ross Blacklock able to collapse the pocket, get to him, and drop him for a loss of a yard.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, they took a sack on 1st and goal. But that close to the goal line, that still definitely hurts.
And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. It's their quarterback. Now with his 3rd touchdown in his first ever NFL game. And the Jaguars are able to widen their lead. We've seen this already from him in this game. 2nd time he's into the end zone with a rushing touchdown.
So the head coach is going to have a meeting with the owner this week. You know why? He's got to let the owner know, I know you wrote the check for his arm, but we're going to make him a part of our run.
Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And he'll be out of bounds well short of the goal line, so the attempt at the fake extra point unsuccessful.
I know they're not asking me, but I'll give you my opinion anyway. I think it's time to erase that play from the call sheet. I guess they figure with the big lead they can experiment a little bit. But all in all, just go ahead and put that play on ice.
This taken in at the goal line. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result, and he opted for the touchback. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown, so decent-sized deficit early on. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked by Jared Wilson. And the Jags will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 45. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Well, Charles, in the past, a lot of people called this offense one-dimensional.
I think you did.
Well,
I think it was you.
I'll be honest, I did. I think the fan base is hoping with this young rookie that they can put some wrinkles in this offense like we just saw.
I think you're exactly right, because we did have that discussion that what we've seen in the past from them, they needed to broaden, and they have done it here. Look at what he's bringing to their offense, and now as a defensive coordinator, you've got some extra work to do to prepare for him and their offense.
And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it.
When you look at the scoreboard, you'd think they'd be pretty comfortable right now with this lead, but these guys are absolutely not going to let up. They want to increase their lead, and they want to do it with a big play. Unable to connect in that attempt.
Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 23. A nice completion there for the first down. And, Charles, you think about the quarterbacks of recent vintage that have been thrust into action week one. It's no guarantee of future success, but we sure have seen some good ones.
We certainly have, partner. How about Joe Burrow with the Bengals in 2020? He was excellent. Kyler Murray with the Cardinals. The best part about his game, has his team right on the brink of the playoffs.
And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. A great effort there. On his way to a monster game, 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Jags are able to add on to their first-half lead. So a good start to the campaign so far for them here in week one.
Yeah, all the things that you dreamed about in April and May and that you worked on in July and August, getting ready for this game, it's all coming together so far.
So the Jags will keep the offense out there as they'll decide to go for 2. They'll try and throw for it. And they are just not going to let up as he is into the end zone here for 2 more. So the signal caller doing it himself there on the 2-point try.
You got to like that. We always talk about the ball staying in the hands of the best players, but most of the time you want to get it to a back, pitch it to a wide receiver. In this case, the quarterback did it himself.
Touchdown. He'll kick this one away. Now Deshaun Watson and his offense heading back out there. Bottom line, he's got to figure things out. He's completed 3 passes, but 2 of them have been to the wrong team so far.
And when we talk about the best quarterbacks, we're usually talking about touchdown to interception ratio, aren't we? And 2 to 1 is acceptable, but the top line guys 3 to 1 or better is what they're looking for. Now we're talking about interceptions versus completions. That's not a ratio should ever be in any discussion.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Here's Watson. He gets it to Cooks. Pushing tacklers aside. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Shotgun snap and a give to Lindsey. Oh, now Lindsey lost the football. And the Jags grab it. And he brings this one back. A fumble return for a Jacksonville score. This first half has been a nightmare for that offense. Defense just dominating them.
And when you're picking up the ball, picking up their mistakes, and taking it the other way and putting it in the end zone, that's a defense's dream. They're having that type of a game.
Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for this offensive unit. Oh, and now they're going to fake it. And it's caught inside the 5. And, boy, talk about adding insult to injury. He's into the end zone to tack on 2 more.
All right, partner, one more time. Our whole lives, you put the ball on the 3-yard line, kick the extra point. 2015, they put it on the 15 to kick the extra point. 2016, they said, we're leaving it there. So if you want to fake it, that's a long way to go. And they got it done.
I was going to say they had a 15-yard play in their back pocket.
You don't see that on too many play sheets, do you?
No. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Phillip Lindsay and the rest of the offense heading back out. Looking for a bounce back. Had the fumble a moment ago that went for a touchdown the other direction. See if he can get back in rhythm.
And you have to be very careful about having too quick of a hook with really good play.
And now a fumble. The ball's out, and the Jags grab it. And he brings this one back. A fumble return for a Jacksonville score. This first half has been a nightmare for that offense. Defense just dominating them.
And when you're picking up the ball, picking up their mistakes, and taking it the other way and putting it in the end zone, that's a defense's dream. They're having that type of a game.
Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for this offensive unit. Oh, look at this. A flip to the kicker. He's going to try to run for it. And he is not going to get to the goal line. And for the first time here this afternoon, they are thwarted on the two-point conversion.
Well, I have to admit, I'm scratching my head a little bit here trying to make sense of what I just saw. Number one, huge lead. Just kick the extra point and be done with it. Number two, if you are going to go for two, just line up and go for it from the 2-yard line. Why make it so difficult? That's a long way to go to try and pick up some points.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Deshaun Watson and the Texans offense trot back out there. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people, lean on your teammates, find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
Or this, if he doesn't, this is getting out of hand, or it could get worse. Faking the give, now Watson. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And what a return as he brings this one all the way back to the 25-yard line.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
Now a play fake here on first down. This is caught. Touchdown, Jaguars. DJ Chark, 25 yards for the touchdown. And the Jaguars are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. The thing that they'll be looking at is a spot of the football, and this is always such a tough one for officials to get exactly right.
Not just because of how fast the game's going, but just trying to get the right sight line to the football. That's not always easy. We'll see what they decide here.
So that challenge, a successful one. Off the bootleg, Madden. It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up second down. Off the bootleg, Madden dancing, and he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. A great play there. On his way to a historic performance, 4 first-half touchdowns. And the Jaguars are pouring it on. Defensively, it didn't seem like anybody had eyes on the quarterback, and he took advantage.
So you think that maybe we're seeing some pretty good instincts for a young guy? Because that's the thing you worry about coming out of college. You're used to getting away with just about anything you want to do. You're just superior. Here, he has to read it, figure it out, and know when it's time to go.
Fields this way up at the 17. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape up past the 30. And we move to spotlighting Brandon Cooks. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? Second quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us, but sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game. Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. K'Lavon Chason leading the surge there as he drops him for a loss of 6. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. And this play comes to a halt at the 33, and obviously that's well short of the first down. Give him 5 on the QB run, but it's going to bring up a 4th down.
Well, if you're going to run the read option, typically, you've got to keep an eye on the defensive end.
And what does that mean? What are you looking for with a defensive end?
Well, you want to play off of what he does. If he collapses inside towards the running back, then you pull it and take it yourself outside in. If he stays outside.
And he can't field it cleanly. It's loose. And the Texans scoop it. Was hoping to make a play there on the return with his speed. Instead, he makes a play for the other side.
Yeah, and how many times have we heard coaches say, you know, sometimes it's not really about those X's and O's we draw up. It's about those Jimmies and Joes. And when you have a punt returner, he's one of those Jimmies and Joes, one of the best athletes. He's unable to make the play that they were seeking, though.
To throw again on 2nd down. Watson. And this will be swung out for Lindsey. Touchdown, Texans. Phillip Lindsay. An 18-yard touchdown grab. And the Texans are able to make things a bit more respectable. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And they get a bit of a respite here from what's been an otherwise dreadful first half of football. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. Here comes Philip Dorsett now to return it. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. Now that should give him a spark. He's across the 40 to the 43.
At some point, we're going to get it through our heads. Special teams, special teams. Special teams, the spark that often wins games.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They go play action here on 1st down. And he'll let this one go deep for Chark. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. So, CD, big changes for 2021. Of course, last year we had the expansion from 6 to 7 teams in each conference making the playoffs. This year, they headlined the addition of a 17th regular season game. What did you think when you heard touchdown? Carter Landry, already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Jaguars continue to roll. And now they'll empty the backfield here as they elect to go for 2. Steps away. And they're just not going to let up as he is into the end zone here for 2 more. And that was the old QB one-man band play there on the conversion.
And look, let's face it, even quarterbacks who don't have great mobility, in certain situations, they're able to actually take the ball in themselves. Remember way back when Joe Namath against the Giants in the Yale Bowl, right? Remember Joe had all those knee operations. They thought he couldn't run it. No one accounted for him. He practically walked into the end zone.
And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Brandon Cooks and the rest of the offensive crew trotting back into place out there. Hasn't had his best day to this point here in the 2nd quarter. They're losing. You got to think, though, that also means that maybe the defense doing a good job on him. There's 2 sides to that coin.
I would agree, so you have to give them credit, but that means you've got to find a way to beat that defense and make sure one of your top playmakers touches the football and has an impact on the game. Change formation. blitz, change where he lines up, put him in motion, anything possible to shake him free.
Maybe that greater impact comes here on this drive. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off near the 26. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. That pick six extending this lead even further. And boy, it's been a while since I've seen a team struggle this badly in the first half.
I think all they want to do is get to the locker room, try and regroup, and come out to start the third quarter. But if things don't improve fast then, I think the backups get a lot of play in the second half.
And boy, talk about adding insult to injury. He's into the end zone to tack on 2 more. And there's a quick momentum swing. INT return for a pick six, and then the 2-point conversion good.
And even if you're keeping your wits about you, you're thinking to yourself, okay, extra point block team going into the game now. All of a sudden you're hearing defense. Everyone's scrambling for their helmets and throwing down their cups of water. That's a great position for them to be in, trying to score against that team. A little bit disjointed.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. Now the return. Here comes Randall Cobb. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And we move to spotlighting Brandon Cooks. A chance maybe here for them to get him more involved. They're down here on the scoreboard, and he's been very quiet.
And the silence has been deafening for his team. They don't need that at all. They need fireworks. They need explosive plays. They need him touching the football in any way possible. Maybe go to some jet sweeps. Anything to get him going.
Something to give him the ball. We'll see if they can do it. And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now, just under 30 seconds to go in this first half. To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Watson. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. On first down, Watson. That's complete to the tight end, Akins. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Throwing again on 2nd down. And the Jags get to him as down he goes. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and... Final timeout as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And now here's another interception. Picked off by Sidney Jones. I'm starting to wonder, Charles, if 5 interceptions, is that the last that we've seen of him?
Well, I think that a lot of people hope that's the last they've seen of him in this game, probably including himself. If this were baseball, the manager would have been at the mound already and asked for the ball, and he'd be in there getting a shower. But in football, you might have to go stand on the sideline and watch the rest of it and see if your backup can do any better.
And he'll let this one go deep for Chark. A fight for it, and this is caught. What a catch. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. A big play that time through the air. 37 yards. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. All right, we will save the Week 1 highlights and apparently get right back to the action here in the 3rd. Here's Lambeau out to kick this one away. Taken at the goal line. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And they have a mountainous deficit looming in front of them. It was really, Charles, a disaster of a first half. So where do they go from? And he lost the football. And the Jags grab it. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. And they came out of the locker trailing. Not a good way to start this second half with their first drive.
Can't imagine that the discussion at halftime encompassed this at all. In fact, I'm sure they talked about, okay, kind of wipe the slate clean, start the second half, and let's go out and play the way we know that we can. That's not a great example of it.
They didn't envision that. And now the throw taken in by Chark. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line.
Well, I certainly don't want to pile on, but this defense has just not been up to the challenge in this game, and this continues as we see here. Coverage, not been very good.
And that ball is caught by DJ Chark for the Jags touchdown. DJ Chark there to make the grab. And the forced fumble defensively leads to 6 points for the Jaguars. So this looking more and more like it is going to be a successful kickoff to their campaign as they add on here.
And partner, you know NFL coaches, they're on the sideline thinking about all the little things that need correcting. But for the most part,
And now, of course, all scoring plays are reviewed, and I think they're going to take an extra long look at this one. Touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. And they're just not going to let up as he is into the end zone here for 2 more.
Personally, I'd rather see him kick the extra point there than to go for 2, but it almost feels like there's a story within the story here. I mean, this isn't college. You know, size of victory, that matters in those games. Here, all you have to do is win by 1 point. That's all that you need. Instead, they go for it, get 2. You got some pretty ticked off folks on the other sideline now.
This fielded right at the goal line. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. And the football going back over now to the Houston Texans. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
You know, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. This home crowd, they're happy with that call.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. But I think a Texan player was able to get his hands on it, and they will indeed hold on to the ball and the possession.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
So they keep the ball, but work to do on 2nd and long. A run with Lindsey out of the gun. And some room to work. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. 92 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him. I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
The Texans tried it, but they come up empty here on 4th. And the Jaguars are going to take possession here on the turnover on downs. And that nearly their first pick of the game, but it falls down to the ground incomplete. 2nd and 10, 3rd quarter of the season opener. There's Chark with a great grab. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30.
And if anyone thinks they're just going to tuck their horns in and pull back off the throttle a little bit, you can forget it. Even with this big third-quarter lead, I think this team's going to continue to take their shots downfield, and there's another completion.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second-half blowout material. Rolling to his left. Here's the tight end. This is Landry. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10.
This is just more of the same. This defense has had no answer on a lot of these throws. They've let these receivers run wild, and here's another completion for good yardage.
And he showed off the athletic juke. Good little gain there. Not a whole lot of real estate, but a nice carry. Keep in mind they can still get a first down here as they come up on 2nd and inches. Shakes off the sag. And he will not get away. He's sacked back around the 3-yard line. It's a loss of a yard, so they'll wind up crediting him with a sack, and it brings up 3rd down. Staying on his feet. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. The offense is not leaving the field. They're going to stay out and go for it on 4th and 3. He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the first down as he's tackled at the 1. Operating from the gun. Madden being chased out left. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Punching it in from a yard away. And the Jaguars are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this 3rd quarter. I'm pretty sure that was a passing play, but he took off pretty quickly and ran with it.
Love his decisiveness on it because you're exactly right. He was supposed to go back in the pocket and survey the field and throw the football. But when that hole opened, he just said, forget it, let's go. And boy, did that work out well.
Oh, and now they're going to fake it. It's caught inside the 5. And boy, talk about adding insult to injury. He's into the end zone to tack on 2 more. Touchdown. He'll kick this one away. And they're going to mark that where it went out of bounds. So really good starting field position up past the 40-yard line.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 43. He'll start things with a handoff to Lindsey. And he loses the football a 2nd time. And the Jags grab it. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line. Following the fumble recovery, Madden powering his way forward. And he will be taken down, but a big pickup there on what's going to be the final play of the 3rd quarter. We are through 3 quarters here on NFL Kickoff Weekend. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off.
And that ball is caught by DJ Chark for the Jags touchdown. DJ Chark. Already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Jaguars are closing in on a winning start to the year as they extend their 4th quarter lead. Out to his left. And they are just not going to let up as he is into the end zone here for 2 more.
Well, I guess when you're hot, you're hot. I mean, I would just go ahead and take the extra point and move on, but apparently they've got something to prove. Almost feels like something was said this week, and they wanted to make sure that they laid it on them in this game.
And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. Houston set to take over. And whatever promise they showed in the preseason has not translated into week one because they have not been particularly competitive here at home, no less. These fans just kind of beside themselves right now. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Throwing to start the drive. Watson, and that's complete to Cooks. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so. Out of the gun, Watson. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. The offense on 3rd down tonight, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football. And this is going to be incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
On is the punter, Johnston now, as he sends this one away. And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line.
That punt was near perfection as it checked up inside the 5-yard line. You never know where these things are going to go, do you?
No, what was it? You got a John Heisman quote about that,
yeah,
right?
He said the football is roughly a prolate spheroid, which means it's...
And now off to the races down the right side. He's at the 30, 10, touchdown, Jaguars. DJ Chark with now 3 week 1 touchdowns. And the Jaguars are pouring it on. What a difference a year makes so far, at least. These guys last place in their division a year ago. Looking like they're going to move to 1-0 right now.
Not really unusual in the NFL, though, is it? Because we always talk about every year, 8-8 is kind of the baseline for everyone, plus or minus. And we've seen...
And he's going to be taken down. It's a sack. And they fail on the try for 2.
I know we can sit up here and dance around it a little bit, but going for 2 in this situation, somebody doesn't like someone else. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, what they couldn't see is you lean back in your chair and you went, yeah, that's not a good decision. They didn't get it, though.
Yeah, I don't think you can just say, well, my kicker's hurt in this spot. No, okay.
And now out comes Houston. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked.
Go to
so
something.
well.
Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. Josh Allen able to drop him for a loss of a couple.
So if we recount real quick, he had the touchdown earlier, and now he comes up with the sack here. No doubt about it, he's having himself a game.
They'll come up after the sack on a 2nd and 12. Watson. He finds Randall Cobb on the completion. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Flag comes in. This might be a free play. That's complete, and once again, it's Cobb. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. So with the completed pass and the yardage they got, they'll decline the penalty.
So obviously, more yards on the pass completion than they would have gained with the penalty. They did the math. They did it well, and it works for them.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him the football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make him make someone miss in the open field.
Well, this game is certainly pretty well over. They go ahead and mark it in the win column. But as a defense, they don't want to get so soft now that everybody just throws the ball all over the place against them, gets big yardage, and puts points on the board. They have pride, too, on that side of the ball.
To the air yet again. Watson. Screen pass to Lindsey. And oh, my goodness, he loses it again. And the Jags grab it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. And they'll run it. This is James Robinson. This will be a short gain of 3 before he's...